My father looked me dead in the eye and told me to step aside. He said, "If you don't like how I run my business, you can walk away." So I did. 3 months later, I watched his entire empire turn into a ghost town while I sat in the office he told me I'd never deserve. I spent 9 years as my father's right-hand man. I started by lugging boxes and driving graveyard shifts in broken trucks. By 32, I was running the show. My father became a ghost, only showing up to meetings to nod and collect the praise for the work I was doing. I thought I was the successor. I was wrong. I was just keeping the seat warm for the golden child. The betrayal happened on a Monday morning. I walked into my father's office and saw my younger brother, Brandon, smirking in my chair. Brandon is 26 and cares more about Bitcoin and his Instagram aesthetic than actual logistics. My father didn't even look up from his desk. He told me I was going to train Brandon to take over my role while I moved to a vague strategy position. "Don't worry, big brother," Brandon said, flashing that crooked grin. "I won't screw it up too bad." Within a week, they repainted my office without asking. I walked in to find my nameplate gone, and the room filled with Brandon's gaming chairs and LED lights. Then came the first real disaster. Brandon managed to lose our oldest client, a family trucking firm, in just 8 days. He sent their drivers into a storm zone using a cheap AI tool, resulting in 2 crashed trucks and a driver in the hospital. When I confronted my father, he just sighed. "Give him some slack, Jack. He's learning." "You would have fired me 10 times over for this," I snapped. "You're 32, my father replied, his voice turning cold. "You should be able to carry your brother's inexperience. This is my firm. You work here because I allow you." That was the moment the string snapped. 9 years of sacrifice were reduced to a favor. I didn't scream. I didn't flip a table. I just looked at him and said, "Fine, enjoy the future." I resigned on the spot. Brandon sent me a meme of a person waving goodbye. I didn't reply. I went home, sat at my kitchen table, and realized I knew exactly where the bodies were buried in that company. I started Forge Logistics from a folding table in my living room. No neon signs, no cupcakes, just a laptop and a phone. I called the clients Brandon had insulted. I called the drivers he had underpaid. I didn't have to pitch them hard. They were all bleeding, and I was the only one who knew how to stop the wound. The high point of the collapse was surgical. I met with the company's lead tech guy, Marco, who Brandon had been treating like an invisible servant. Marco handed me a zip file. It contained everything: deleted audit logs, proof of edited emails, and a recording of Brandon calling a major investor a boomer with trucker brain. I didn't leak it to the press. I sent it directly to the board of investors. The end came on a Tuesday. I invited my father to lunch at our old spot. He looked 10 years older. I told him I wanted to buy his 2 largest remaining accounts to save them from the wreckage. "You're trying to gut us," he whispered. "No," I said, leaning in. "I'm giving you a way out. If I wanted to gut you, I'd just let Brandon keep talking." A week later, the board voted Brandon out. My father was the only one who voted to keep him. The company didn't survive the audit. Investors sued, clients vanished, and the firm shuttered within 3 months. Brandon stormed into my new office yesterday, face bright red, screaming that I sabotaged him. I didn't even stand up. I just watched him vibrate with rage through the glass door of a company I actually built. "I didn't sabotage you, Brandon," I said quietly. "I just stopped saving you. Last night, I got a text from my father. I didn't know how to let go. You were right." I didn't text back. I just flipped my phone face down and got back to work. He has his legacy of ashes, and I have mine built from the ground up.